Okay, so the app I used to screen record had a limit. So basically, this is the replay of the thing. We just have a Pete in hand, and basically all that happens with this game is we play the Pete. Then after missing off of our power line, we quest out. They then play an Elsa or the Ink and Elsa. They play a Woodchuck's Guidebook, and then they play a Woodchuck's Guidebook, draw 2 cards, play Dialgo, and then we just draw power line and quest to win, because there's not much that we won. So I think the lesson of this is showing how strong this deck is when you can get that, like, what is it? When you can get that like nice curve of power line into Pete or Ariel into shift power line, sing a song, hit another removal, like with power line, big power line, when you can where is it? When you can shift him on to this power line and even get a bunch of removal on board, like your opponent can't do much. But especially the Slushy. The Slushy is really nice, actually. I liked it because it helped us take care of a card, and then it was a threat that the Lexington went into it, which allowed our remove the only character that they had on board that could then challenge our whole power line aerial stuff, but give you stuff evasive, because otherwise they could just take out those aerial, but as aerial challenge the aerial, and then our whole combo is just lost. But by being able to give the stuff that we need, by having this threat here that if not answered will die, then we'll like start dealing damage to their board. It's really nice. And the fact that we're also able to develop this wide board and not get hit by an Elsa or anything that exerted our stuff, it meant that we were in pretty good hands. Like, we weren't losing badly, right? And I think that's kind of key, especially with any Amethyst matchup where they have the Elsa, they have the whatever it is, whatever cards exert, like having the not getting hit by that, but then be able to do your other damage stuff before they can build up a wide board, and build up your wide board before they can build their wide board helps a lot with this matchup. And I think just all the matchups in general. Hopefully we can eventually be able to play a Sapphire Amethyst deck, a Blur Bowl deck, and see how this deck fares against that. But today you got to see our Ruby Steel deck go up against a Amber Steel deck, which we lost miserably, and I think partially that was due to bad draws. But also we played against and were able to do a really good job at beating up Amethyst Steel, which has happened twice so far, so I don't know what that is. Could just be like the ranking we're at, or could be, maybe this actually is good against Amethyst Steel. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are playing the Ruby Steel deck that I showed off last week. And however, this is edited from the previous video where we went and played it, and then we made some small changes. The changes were adding this Slushy and taking out the 3 Moana that was inkable and had 4/3 and whatever, and a Gaunt 2, which was uninkable 2/4 and basically made your opponent not be able to sing songs and made all actions and items cost 2 more. We've taken those out and put in the Slushy and keep the Ancient Ways. 2 copies keep the Ancient Ways. The idea is we will be able to kind of play Mulan on turn 1 maybe, or we could, if we don't, we'll play turn 2 Power Line, turn 3 Aerial P, and then we could turn 4 shift big power line onto small power line, sing like hopefully a Heraldus Thunderbolt or Beat King Undisputed, and hit another form of removal or form of card draw, or even keep the Ancient Ways to freeze our opponent's actions. So then we basically, they can't do much except for maybe exert with like character effects or so on. So without further ado, let's get into playing it. Okay. So we will go first. Okay. That is not great. We'll mulligan 2 strengths. And I believe of Vincenzo because we don't, it's too expensive. We don't need 2 strengths of Raging Fire. But we can do turn 1 to Mulan, turn 2 Lumiere. We'll keep the power line. Hopefully we can draw a turn 2 power line. Because that would actually be pretty good with the strength of the Raging Fire right now. Mulligan. Nope, we drew 6 cost power line again, but not turn 2 power line. But that is fine. We still have the Mulan to be able to potentially do some stuff. So I think our first job is to ink the power line, to play the Mulan. We'll resolve the draw then discard effect. And we got a Pete, which is good. That means we can be able to sing our 3 cost songs. I think we'll have to discard. We'll discard the Mulan. No, we have a shift target for the Mulan. We'll discard the power line. Yeah, we'll discard the power line, keep the Mulan to be able to shift, and then next turn we will then play the Lumiere, and then we can play Pete and do strength and so on. So we will then end our turn. So yeah, because basically we are trying to get down enough characters, freeze their actions, do some stuff, and be able to do kind of what we basically be able to sing our songs and get things rolling to prevent them from doing anything. Looks like they're playing Amber Steel, which is interesting. Haven't really played much of this against this deck. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, we'll ink. Ink I'm Still Here, and we'll play the Lumiere. And end turn. We don't want a quest because we don't want this Rhino or a shift Rhino, whatever, doing stuff to our Mulan. They could shift and sink Hero's Thunderbolt, which wouldn't be great. It'll also be kind of low value. Okay, they're playing a Lilo. That's good for us. We don't want to. Oh, they want to undo, so we'll let them undo. Yeah, if they shift and sing, that's kind of bad. Okay, yeah, they shift. If they sing, that's not great. If they just quest, that's okay. They don't do either of that. Okay, interesting. Okay, so now we have strength. We have our Pete. Honestly, I think it's better to ink the I'm Still Here, play Pete, and now they can't play actions, and then we'll build a strength, and then even potentially strength again on the following turn. So we'll end our turn, because they can't even play Angel to discard cards and deal damage to our stuff yet. So I think we're in a pretty good spot right now. We froze their actions, they can't remove our stuff. We'll be able to do some removal against them on our turn. Hopefully we can draw a 4 cost, because that would be ideal. If we can't, though, then we'll, yeah, that won't be great. Okay, they ink the strength. I think we're just waiting to see what they do. Okay, so they quested. That's actually not bad because we can then, okay, we drew a Diablo. That's fine. That's good. We'll play the Diablo. That's great because now we can strength their Rhino for a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 damage, which would be 2 damage total, and then we can finish it off with the Mulan. So I think we're going to ink this Mulan. Sing with this. Target their Rhino and challenge with this Mulan to get rid of it. That way then we don't have to deal with it. And I think that is it. The next turn we can do more strength stuff. Because I don't necessarily think they can take out Pete. Unless they like fire the cannons or they hard cast a hard play. He hurled his Thunderbolt. They could play an Angel. I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah, they play hard play the Healers Thunderbolt onto the Diablo, which I guess makes sense because that's probably the quest for 2 and so on. You can't necessarily let that do stuff. Okay. Not great. We drew a 6 cost earlier for ink. That's not great, but I think we'll play then that to take out the Lilo. They will be able to replay it, but it'll give us some questing stuff. I don't think they have any rush characters that can take us out. They could play the 4-cost Angel, which then they could discard a card to deal 2 damage to one of our characters. In which case, it makes sense while we're questing, because otherwise, we're kind of... If we didn't quest, they could take out a card, and then we'd be kind of stuck. Okay, they're playing Stitch Snow... Stitch, what is that? Okay, Stitch Carefree Snowboarder. Cool. Probably going to be playing 2 characters on their turn. We'll play the Mulan. So I was thinking about inking it, but I think this is the better play because now we will discard that Ariel and play that. It was a bit risky because we could potentially draw a more expensive card, but now we have 4 characters on board and they have Stitch. We're in a pretty good spot, but I don't think we're gonna... Well, yeah, we'll quest because I don't want him gaining any lore. Or drawing cards off of that. So we'll quest, and then if he doesn't take this out, it's free lore. But if he does, then he's got damage and he didn't quest, and that means that's good for us. He didn't quest to draw cards if he challenges. If he does quest to draw cards, then it gives us an extra lore. That's kind of the thought process behind that, and don't want to exert the Lumiere. Okay, he plays an Angel. Yeah, we don't want to exert the Lumiere because we don't want the Stitch to challenge it, but in this case, he's probably just going to be able to discard the Angel. Oh, he doesn't discard off the Angel. Which I guess kind of makes sense because only 2 cards. You might want to play that. So we're playing Lumiere. I think we want to take out the Stitch. Yeah, we'll use this. And I think use the Mulan. I kind of want to keep it in case we get a shift, but do that. And we will end turn. I don't want him discarding his entire hand and then getting resist 2 on that Angel to then challenges. It's interesting that he keeps not doing the Lilo. He must have good, some decent cards in his hand that he wants to play, because I feel like... Yeah, okay. He discards to deal damage to the Lumiere. Plays a Dock to draw cards. That makes sense. I think it's good that we took out the Stitch Carefree Surfer because we don't want him drawing extra cards, because he would have an extra card now potentially if he had done that. Is he gonna do anything else? This isn't looking great for us. I think if we draw something good, we should be fine. Okay, sings a Cood, plays another Angel. Okay, that's not good. I guess we're playing this. Banish one of your characters? Probably the Rhino or the Dock. We're not hitting any of the Angels with this. Unless they're not Unless they're like not smart. But yeah, they're probably gonna banish. Okay, they banish the dock, which makes sense because then they can still shift onto this rhino if they need to do damage to our board. I think. Yeah. I think our board is gonna be discarded anyway because he can. Well, he can't double discard onto the Pete, but he can discard a card to just take out the power line. Unless he wants to play it. I think we gotta risk keeping it. We'll end our turn. Wants to do, draws a card. Plays, oh, Nani. Okay. Not discarded, which is nice. Should keep our stuff relatively good. What is this? Is that another? Oh, it's that angel. See, he's not discarding to deal damage to other stuff, but he's still questing to gain lore. He's got that resist +2 on the angel. Is not great. I guess we play this. Freeze actions for a turn. I guess, yeah, we'll challenge the rhino. End turn. We got to draw something good next. If we don't draw something soon, that's gonna like help us retake board control. And we're not. We're dead. Because yeah, okay, takes out our Pete. We need to draw. I think that slushy. That slushy would be really nice for us because then we can challenge angels and so on. Not bad, but not useful. So we're gonna ink it and hopefully get more lore. Exert will challenge that. And turn. So this is questing for 4 right now. And he plays the Lilo. Yeah, if we don't draw something that hit impacts the board next turn, which I don't think there is anything that will help us, but and we draw another Mulan. Yeah, no, this is not. Yeah, we lose. We just ink and turn, and he wins. They win. I mean, yeah. So that was not great. So that's an example of what happens when you don't, when you just at top deck mode, because that was really bad. Let's go ahead. We'll do another game and see if we can do better. To test out, because we didn't get to see any of the cards we changed except for we didn't get to see the slushy, but we saw the what's it called? Keep the ancient ways, but it didn't really help us at all. Okay, we have slushy. That's good. I think we want to keep the slushy. That's a really good turn foreplay. I think we'll ink those or mulligan those two and the Jasmine. Well, maybe we keep the I'm still here instead of the strength. Filter, give him resist. We'll try that. So mulligan 4 cards. Okay, cool. Did we get we got turn 2. We have that Mulan. We have Diablo. Actually, that's not bad. We have 2 power lines and a Diablo and a Mulan. We're going first, so I think we're going to ink a power line. And end turn. Okay, Amethyst Steel. Okay, we played this in the last game, or like last week, and we managed to beat Amethyst Steel. But we'll see how this goes. Ink the Mulan. Oh. Not like you highlight power line. End turn. Because next turn we can play then the aerial. Sing I'm still here, give evasive because of the aerial, and resist +2 to like one of them, and then we should be pretty good to do stuff. Okay, so we have. I also have the Pete that we could play, but we're on the play. I feel like it's better to play the aerial and do stuff. Think we'll ink this Mulan. Play the aerial. We're going to then sing this with Powerline. We give evasive, resist plus 2 Powerline, and evasive to Powerline. So just do that. And we drew a card, which was another Pete, which is actually kind of funny. That's not bad, not bad. I think that will end our turn. So our Powerline should be pretty safe from like almost anything. Like they can't strength the Raging Fire it. They can't hold this Thunderbolt. Yeah, they're pretty good. That's a Lexington, which isn't great, but not terrible. We'll ink the Pete, and we'll play the Slushy. We'll get that on board, because that should be really threatening. And it's an evasive card, so we'll be pretty good. This Lilo seems like a problem, but yeah, I think we're good just letting things go. So they could, yeah, because they're not on, they can't play Elsa yet. They can't turn 5 play Elsa. Okay, they can play Calhoun. Oh, double Calhoun. That's interesting. But we have evasive, so that's not bad. Marching off to battle. That actually could be useful for card draw. We have Beyond the Horizon. Diablo. I think we can go Pete and Diablo. That would be really hurtful to them. Then we can just challenge, I think. Take out that, yeah. Well, ink. Yeah, well, ink marching up to battle. We'll play Diablo, and Pete will block his actions. And in theory, we can sing Beyond the Horizon, which might be good. But I think it'd be better to do some challenging stuff. Yeah, let's exert to challenge that. And then because of its effect, now we get to exert and challenge again. Taking that out and ending turn. Because those are both evasive, the Calhouns can't challenge it. They also won't be able to play any actions to deal with our stuff. So I think we're overall in a pretty good position. The ink, a giant cobra. Okay, so they take out our Slushy. At least we got rid of the Lexington. So now evasives aren't a problem anymore. Now that's good. That's actually a really good card to draw now. Because if we shift it, we can sing the Beyond the Horizon, hit a couple of extra songs. So let's do this. Let's shift. Oh, B Powerline. There. Now we will sing together with just the Powerline. Confirm. We will draw just us. No, not opponent. We want just us. Confirm. So we drew 3 cards, and then we will resolve. First, let's resolve the song. We'll give evasive to that, and then we'll look at the top 4. Play a song. Let's play Herald as Thunderbolt. Put these on top, in case it matters. And we'll hurl the Thunderbolt Calhoun. And then with evasive, we'll give. I suppose we'll give Diablo. Diablo evasive. And then with that, we'll exert. We'll quest with Diablo. We'll quest with Ariel. End our turn. What's nice is next turn we'll be able to shift Ariel, as long as he doesn't take it out. And now we can, if we get an inkable card, we can ink, sing Herald's Thunderbolt, deal 2 damage, pay 2 ink for the Ariel to deal 3 damage to something, and then potentially, okay. Strength of the Raging Fire, the Ariel, which I guess makes sense. So that kind of makes things, our next plan not as great. But the fact that they only have 2 characters on board and we have all this is actually really good. Like, there's not much he can do or they can do against it. So we are going to sing Hero's Thunderbolt with Powerline. Deal the 4 damage to the Calhoun. We'll resolve then Mashup's ability. And we'll use Strength and take out the Captain Hook. And then we'll play Hercules. Quest for 2. Quest for 1. End turn. So now I don't know what they can play that would help them too much. Okay, Demona, I guess. But still, they can't really... We still have a lot that we can do to like really damage their stuff. Like, we have Beaking, which is going to take out one of their cards. We have I'm Still Here. Like, we can hit other songs as well. Like, we can do a lot. I think, yeah, like, what else? This is a 5/6. If we give this resist 2, they take that up. Yeah, I think we're going to sing with the power line. And we'll give the resist 2 to the power line. We'll resolve, drawing us a card. And we get to hit another thing. We're going to use the Herald's Thunderbolt. Put this on top, confirm order. And then we'll deal the 4 damage to... we can do... Yeah, we want to do this. Because now we can sing Beaking Undisputed with this, forcing them to banish a character, and they only have 1 character on board, so that banishes their 1 character. And then we'll ink Powerline, play Aerial, quest for 2, quest for 1, end turn. I don't know what they can do. Like, they have 7 ink. They could do probably... They could slam down a couple of, like, genies. If they play ink and then play 2 genies, that might be a problem. But even then, like, we have the strength of Raging Fire. Okay, that's funny. So he hurled his Thunderbolt. Yeah, we'll accept that. He hurled his Thunderbolt the Hercules. But the Hercules can't be dealt damage unless he's being challenged. And so that meant that he can take out Pete or Diablo with that, but he can't take out the power line with it because Power line has resist 2 from the I'm Still Here earlier. Plays that, and we can still take it out with Strength. Like, almost any card he plays, we can take out with Strength, which is actually insane. So I think, yeah. Well, okay, first we're going to sing with this in case we hit a song. We'll hit that for 4. Then we'll... what is our... Okay, we cannot... Okay, so the app I used to screen record had a limit. So basically, this is the replay of the thing. We just have a Pete in hand. And basically, all that happens with this game is we play the Pete then after missing off of our power line. We quest out. They then play an Elsa, or the Ink and Elsa. They play a Woodchuck's Guidebook. And then they play a Woodchuck's Guidebook, draw 2 cards, play Dialgo, and then we just draw power line and quest to win. Because there's not much that we won. So I think the lesson of this is showing how strong this deck is when you can get that, like, what is it? When you can get that, like, nice curve of power line into Pete or Ariel into shift power line, sing a song, hit another removal. Like, with power line, big power line, when you can, where is it? When you can shift him on to this power line and even get a bunch of removal on board, like your opponent can't do much. But especially the Slushy. The Slushy is really nice, actually. I liked it because it helped us take care of a card, and then it was a threat that the Lexington went into it, which allowed our remove the only character that they had on board that could then challenge our whole power line aerial stuff, but give you stuff evasive. Because otherwise they could just take out those aerial, but as aerial challenge the aerial, and then our whole combo is just lost. But by being able to give the stuff that we need, by having this threat here that if not answered will die, then we'll like start dealing damage to their board. It's really nice. And the fact that we're also able to develop this wide board and not get hit by an Elsa or anything that exerted our stuff, it meant that we were in pretty good hands. Like we weren't losing badly, right? And I think that's kind of key, especially with any Amethyst matchup where they have the Elsa, they have the, whatever it is, whatever cards exert, like having the not getting hit by that, but then be able to do your other damage stuff before they can build up a wide board, and build up your wide board before they can build their wide board helps a lot with this matchup. And I think just all the matchups in general. Hopefully we can eventually be able to play a Sapphire Amethyst deck, a Blur Bowl deck, and see how this deck plays against that. But today you got to see our Ruby Steel deck go up against a Amber Steel deck, which we lost miserably, and I think partially that was due to bad draws. But also we played against and were able to do a really good job at beating up Amethyst Steel, which has happened twice so far, so I don't know what that is. Could just be like the ranking we're at, or could be, maybe this actually is good against Amethyst Steel. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.